We have started a Mission Exam Shield campaign where we are taking suggestions from one and all on how to better conduct the competitive exams in our country and how to avoid leaks. What do you think is going to bring about effective change and reform in competitive examination execution?
Okay, see, exams firstly are very, very important in this country. Fundamentally because there is one assessment system which we follow. At the end of a year, you have an exam. Yes, there are internal assessments of various kinds, but they possibly don't count. Every student studies hard for this one exam. And if it's a public exam, every student wants some things kept clean. So first is access. Access to the exam, completely important to be kept open, accessible to all. Second is fairness. How fair is the exam to all concerned? The third is transparency. How transparent is the entire process? The fourth is the quality of the exam. And the fifth is a secure exam, which, where some aspects of the exam have not been leaked or have not erroneously fallen into wrong hands.
There is this massive obsession that we have with holding a single exam for millions and millions of students. How do we get over this?
Happily or sadly, we're a very large country. A large country typically has these challenges. We have so many children sitting for an exam that it's extremely important to reduce, smaller exams and actually depend on only just one exam. That one exam becomes the be all and end all. And I think, everybody focuses on it. I think over a period of time, we need to reduce the focus on one exam. We need to have a lot more of these testing mechanisms. There needs to be testing for different faculties that an individual brings to the party. And scoring must be on the soft and the hard issues that are involved out there. At times, people think very well, but they're unable to write in a particular language or articulate it in a particular manner. In our country, we believe in the written exam again, and that is the be all and end all. There are countries across the world which do believe in a viva voce, where you actually do voice exams as well. So I think testing, sadly, is a very bad process. But for a big country like India, testing is inevitable, and one mass exam is inevitable. One nation, one exam, maybe not a plan. One nation, federally divided into each of the states, several state exams, that is the model which is to that extent better. One state, several district exams being held, customized to an extent, that is a better model. One district versus several talukas, an urban exam, a rural exam. Well, these are differences, but unfortunately, a large nation cannot aspire for such differences.
What do you think are the best global case studies of public examinations that we can study and emulate?
Well, the systems exist all over. If you really look at the UK system of education, or if you look even at Canada, you will see that, the focus is on all those things that I spoke to you about some time ago, about access, about fairness, transparency, quality, total control on the paper as well. So I think, focusing on all those things, looking at the best practices in some of these countries is all okay. But what is the size of Canada? Yeah, it's a small country at the end of the day. I know. And they think they're a very large country. UK, I mean, they ruled us. They thought they were very big. I don't think they're all that big. So if you look at it, the challenge of India and China is very different. Look at the Chinese system there. And look at possibly what China is doing. And maybe there are lessons out there as well.
The government has also announced a high-powered panel with vice chancellors. Exam leak laws will be stricter. What do you want to see next? What must the government do?
What I want to see is fairness in the entire process. An exam is not a tap that can be allowed to drip and leak. An exam must not come within the ambit of the jugad mindset of a set of people. And I think the jugad mindset has actually destroyed the sanctity of the examination in a lot of states in our country and even at the national level. The exam is a sacred entity, and an exam is an integrity. How do you preserve that amidst jugad mentality? The jugad mentality is, there is a learner who's actually sitting for an exam. There is a teacher who's teaching him to sit for the exam through the formal system. And then there's the coaching class who comes outside of it and is taking him, her, or them to the exam hall. If you look at it, each one of these entities actually have the jugad mindset within themselves. When the jugad mindset of any one of those entities goes berserk, we have the buying and selling of papers. And that is sadness encompassed in itself. Because look at education. Education is meant to be for all, at a price which can be afforded by all. But is that true? I don't think education is available to all. I don't think at a price that everybody can afford. Education has got divided into two. There's private education, there's public education. Public education is possibly that much more equitable in terms of what it charges. Private education is dreadfully expensive. And guess what? The entire country wants private education as well. And therefore, people gravitate towards private suppliers, and private education is expensive. Private education can be afforded by the rich, can be strugglingly afforded by the middle class, and just cannot be afforded by the poor. I think what we require in the country is acute privatization at one end, wherein you say that we have private schools, we have private colleges, and they will charge a lot, like they do. If you're rich, you can go to them. But at the other end, for the middle class of this country and for the poor of this country, we need to have acute nationalization of education. A model where we are able to give the same quality of education that you get in a private school, in a public school. Yeah, the cohort will be different. The cohort of students will be different. The cohort of students will come from different socio-economic affordabilities and groups. They'll be that much more myriad than the very common pattern of the rich in this country. I think that is the challenge. Education must be like air. All of us should get it. All of us should get it all the time. The quality of air must be the same for the rich and the poor. The price of air must be free. And you must get it when you want it. And it must help you become a better person. So I think education is absolutely like air. I would definitely say acute privatization at one end and acute nationalization at another.
Thank you, Harish Bijoor, for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views. Well, on that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX.